Hello and welcome once again to Cricket Mahfil. My name is Hassan Hussain Qureshi. Today I'm lucky to be joined by someone whose last show with me was something that people absolutely loved because we talked about something so unique and so interesting and something that not enough people talk about, which is advertising and branding in cricket. I'm very lucky today to be joined by Bissmah Mehmud, who is an advertising professional with over 10 years experience in branding, advertising and marketing. She's worked with corporate and government entities in the past. She is a Chevening scholar and now she's heading a restaurant. Bismaji, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Hassan?
I'm good. Thank you so much. You know, the last conversation we had, people were so happy that we looked at things that are so unique but just don't get talked about. And
Yes.
since then, of course, हमने PSL में देखा है that people have been releasing. We sort of now started getting regular anthems. It's a big thing when the PSL anthem comes on. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the fact that some franchises have gone for new anthems. Some, like my team, I'm just not bothered with it because they're like trophy padi hai na, kya karna hai anthem ka. And then we've seen changes in kits. And I was looking at some certain things regarding badges. You and I are both football fans, so you know badges are a very integral part of our sports identity that I wanted to talk to you about. So if we can start off, Bismaji, with this year. Last year we had Groove Mera, which
Yes.
a lot of people had some issues with. Personally, I loved it. I always kept playing it in my car. I think
I
it,
absolutely loved it too. Yeah.
don't you think that it got the job done in that it was something that could be played in the stadiums, and that's what an anthem is all about?
Absolutely. मुझे याद है last year when Groove Mera came out, इतना initial backlash था. Shoaib Akhtar went on to this entire, rant about it, and a lot of his followers then came to the video, and it was really funny कि लोगों ने उधर comment किया हुआ था. I came here after Shoaib Akhtar's interview, but I actually like it. Like, what's wrong with it? So मैंने उस वक्त एक बात बोली थी कि it's very campaignable. ठीक है, and campaignable is something that when you're a marketer, ठीक है, or you're a brand custodian, ठीक है, any communication you throw out, especially if it's a high budget production like an anthem, you don't want कि यार वो एक दफा सुन के कोई दोबारा ना सुने या साल बाद बंदा भूल जाए. ठीक है, that's not never your objective. ठीक है, so the fact that अभी इतनी strong recall है of Groove Mera just goes on to show कि कितना बड़ा success था वो. ठीक है, how big of a success it was, and even people who initially didn't like it, they're like हाँ यार वो तो बड़ा fit था. वो अब जाके कह रहे हैं कि हाँ यार वो तो बड़ा fit था, वो तो बड़ा fit था. So it tick marked the campaignable bit, which is very important, ठीक है, for any brand. And then also as a piece of content, if you're just watching it as a consumer of content and not someone जो कि ज़्यादा सोचते हैं about brands and campaignability, मैं थोड़ा ज़्यादा सोचती हूँ because मेरी ये field है. So even if you watch as a regular consumer, it was a treat to watch. Even the videos की जो art direction थी उसके अंदर, it was a audio visual masterpiece is what I would say it was. और मुझे अभी पता चला है अभी जब ये कोक स्टूडियो में अदनान धूल जो भी तू झूम जो आया है, right, he also worked on Groove Mera, so I'm not surprised because it shows. So इस साल का जो anthem है, I again loved it. I found it to be very upbeat, sporty, a stadium banger is what I would call it. कि आप उसको लगाएं stadium में तो माहौल बने, right, mood बने, you feel pumped, you feel energized. So it has that factor. I wouldn't say it's as catchy as Groove Mera was, but I still like it. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा. I personally really like it because मैं जब पहली गो में सुन रही थी ना, तो I was really starting to feel the beat, and उसका 2-3 दफा सुनने के बाद मेरे ज़हन में बैठ गया. अच्छा, आगे देख is what you're supposed to. So automatically as a consumer, I know कि all further communication that comes out during the PSL, उसमें वो आगे देख कहीं ना कहीं उन्होंने fix in किया हुआ होगा. It's very campaignable. So PSL का anthem, I would say अगर Groove Mera was 11 out of 10, I would say आगे देख is a solid 8 or a 9 out of 10. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'd agree with you. And also the fact that Atif Aslam loves his cricket. We know that people who know him know he loves his cricket. So there is also that relatable factor with it. That people for only their own prejudices, I'm sorry, whoever you are, I just don't understand what your problem is. I thought Nasibo Lal was fantastic in Groove Mera.
Fantastic.
She stood out. She made it brilliant. आप लोगों को क्यों problem है मुझे नहीं पता. आपको हिदायत मिले मेरी ये दो. मेरी आपके लिए दुआ है.
समझ नहीं आया.
And then the fact that, you know, that we had the young stunners coming in with the rap, so obviously they couldn't do the same thing again. So considering that it was different, I would agree with you. I think they've done a good job. People will enjoy it. और आपने महीने के लिए 6 हफ्ते के लिए तो सुनना है ना, उस टाइम में आपने उसको सुनना है. It's going to run in, like you said, campaignable. बड़ा आपने एक important हमें चीज सिखाई है, campaignable, because it means related to a campaign. Sometimes people are thinking,
Yes.
नहीं जी, this should be a track from Pearl Jam or this should be a track from Pink Floyd. नहीं भाई, इतना आगे मत सोचें आप कैंपेन के बारे में सोचें, टूर्नामेंट के बारे में सोचें. Think about the fans in the stadium. Think about now, of course, we see so much advertising during streams. So I want to hear something during those that is enjoyable and not something that makes me want to break. Already
Yes.
मेरे पास पैसे नहीं है नया कंप्यूटर खरीदने के लिए, so
बिल्कुल.
I don't want to take that risk. Bismah ji, anthems के साथ ही रहते हुए, now we'll move on. We know that Lahore Qalandars have had some interesting anthem choices in the past. They're not doing an anthem this year. क्या आपको लगता है उन्होंने सोचा है कि नहीं जी, इस तरह तो आवाम जाके हमारे पुराने एंथम्स देखेगी, और is it the fact that the team just doesn't have enough ganja players this time to make a video is why they've not gone with the anthem?
I think uh, I might be wrong. I think there's budgetary constraints involved in this factor. Definitely, I'm pretty sure I'm right is in this regard. But the fact that they want people to go back and listen to maybe purane anthems isn't a bad strategy. ठीक है, आप अपना content, I personally think brands should be sustainable in their content as well. ठीक है, वो एक चीज बनाएं जो for life चलती रहे. Why not? ठीक है. Productions aren't exactly cheap to make. But at the same time फिर आपने कोई ऐसी चीज बनाई दी हो ना, वो जो टाइमलेस सी हो, ठीक है, वो आप कभी भी फिट इन कर दें. ठीक है, चाहे वो 2022 का सीजन है या 2032 का सीजन है, वो इतना रेलेवेंट होना चाहिए. ठीक है, या इतना soul stirring होना चाहिए कि वो कभी भी कहते फिट इन हो सके. So the fact that they don't have that, and then they also didn't come up with a new thing, so I feel like Lahore Qalandars, उनके fans इतने passionate हैं, इतने they love their team, even though वो बेचारे, I really feel for them. They haven't won, and it's great for the memes, but I do want them to win. ठीक है, मतलब मैं तंग करती हूँ. I'm one of the people जो सबसे ज़्यादा Lahore Qalandars को troll कर रही होती है on Twitter. But I do genuinely want them to win. I want every team to have at least one, PSL win. So it's sad that they're not, brand building पे उनका कोई focus नहीं है. I do think कि maybe उनकी one of their strategies, well, not a strategy. I think they play along with the whole, जो memes निकलती हैं, and people maybe
They
I
embrace
think
it.
हाँ कि user generated content पे काम चलाते जाओ, like why not?
Bismah
But
ji,
as a
something we spoke about last time was the fact that we felt, like you said, their fans are passionate and they
yes,
love the team, but we felt कि identity कहीं से, for lack of a better term, हमें लाहौरी नहीं लगती. I mean, Qalandars is hardly something you relate to Lahore. The
नहीं
fact
लगती
that
है.
we missed out an opportunity to see, Data Darbar or see Minar-e-Pakistan, the fact that आपने कोई उस तरह का content नहीं बनाया जहां पे आप लाहौर के खाने की बात कर रहे हो, or even using things like the old city or Basant and all. This is something you spoke about last time also, but still the fans engage and they really
Yeah,
love their team. And you're absolutely
yeah,
right. हम तो तंग करते हैं, but if they
yes.
win it, the fans deserve it because they are loyal.
बिल्कुल, absolutely. As a neutral sports fan, I would want कि यार they should get to win, and also not just get to win, but also have some. जिसमें मैं ज़ल्मी के fans देखती हूँ, वो they look forward to the anthems each year. वो tag कर रहे थे अभी 2 दिन पहले जावेद आफिदी को कि sir, where is our anthem this year? And उनमें एक वो है, जज्बा, not just for the team but for the brand of Zalmi. ठीक है. So, which by the way is commendable. ठीक है, Zalmi की brand team को full marks to them कि they've managed to create, this sort of passion amongst, fans. तो maybe, Lahore Qalandars की जो brand team है, they should also maybe work on that. ठीक है, कि लोग look forward करें to, content that comes out of, the brand each year. And I feel like वो, as a brand custodian, अगर आप if you rely too much on user generated content, तो आपकी brand identity बीच में lose हो जाएगी. ठीक है, वो फिर memes पे बस कुछ चलता रहेगा. Or maybe they could own that. उसी से एक brand identity बना लें कि we're the most memeable brand in the PSL. ठीक है, take that and use that as your identity. ठीक है, उसी को कुछ करते रहें. why not? It'll be creative. You'll really stand out from the rest. Okay, why not? But I feel like वो थोड़ी सी बेचारी ना लावारिस सा ब्रांड है.
थोड़ा सा
कोई
lost है.
हाँ कोई पूछता नहीं है उसे, तो मुझे थोड़ा दुख होता है कि फैंस इतने
And
पैशनेट हैं. एंड देन लाहौर, जनरली लाहौर की जो सिटी है, ठीक है, मैं आई एम अ डाई हार्ड इस्लामाबादी, बट लाहौर है इस्लाम पाकिस्तान का, इट इज I won't say the heart of Pakistan, but like when you think of Pakistan, you think of Lahore automatically, ठीक है. So इतनी सिग्निफिकेंट कह लें या इतनी वो वाली सिटी जिसका इतना जज्बा है, वहाँ के लोग भी, नॉट जस्ट द स्पोर्ट्स फैन, just being Lahori, the essence of being Lahori, ठीक है, वो ही नहीं निकल के आ रही होती उनकी ब्रांड उसके अंदर. So I feel like they're really missing out.
Well, I hope they watch this and get a chance to understand the things you've spoken about, because you're absolutely right. There is this innate Lahoriness that they're not being able to tap into. The other team that I feel is absolutely not tapping into their city's vibe is Karachi. And Karachi is we talk about heart of Pakistan. It is the heart of Pakistan. It's the largest. It's multi-ethnic. It's quite amazing and fantastic. And yet वही बात होगी, वही हमें शेर नजर आ गया जो खुदा ना खास्ता कभी कराची में नजर आ गया हमें रोड पे तो टेंशन लग जाएगी. And Kings हम ऐसे कह रहे हैं as if पता नहीं Karachi was some kingdom that we overtook and incorporated into Pakistan. Not looking at the city's grittiness and not looking at the creativity and not looking at the music and the culture. Karachi Kings anthem, we believe, Bissmah ji, is currently being made. This is what we've been told. Obviously, COVID times में कभी-कभी problems हो जाते हैं, but don't you feel personally, as a brand custodian, as someone who knows this field, that it's important that you get, in this day and age, something out before the tournament starts? Or is it a case of waiting कि जी नहीं tournament के बीच में release कर देंगे? Because so much of the hype, I mean, Pakistanis were tweeting Eid Mubarak the day before PSL. It was a time that I think anyone related to PSL must have been thinking, bhai PSL ko tag kar do, and you will literally have millions and millions of eyeballs. How can the franchise of the biggest city in Pakistan not have the anthem out in time? And they're the ones who are playing at home, playing in the National Stadium, and playing in Karachi. So don't you think a huge opportunity was missed?
Absolutely. ये तो I think couple of days भी नहीं, a week in advance I think they should have released. Because there's always the possibility that you get off to a bad start in the tournament, ठीक है, and फिर if you're not performing on the field और उस दिन आपने अपना anthem launch कर दिया है तो वो थोड़ा सा creates that whole you lose out on that opportunity to really engage the audience अपने brand के हिसाब से, ठीक है. उस वक्त if my team has just lost a match and 2 मिनट बाद they launch an anthem बड़ा फैंसी सा, तो मैं कहूंगी सारी मेहनत इसी anthem में डाल दी है, टीम के लिए भी कुछ कर लेते, ठीक है. सो वो एक रिस्क होता है इन्वॉल्व, which is why it's best कि आप फैंस को एंगेज करें at least a week before your first match. अच्छा चलो टूर्नामेंट नहीं भी स्टार्ट हुई, so I think Zalmi's anthem came out yesterday if I'm not wrong. Yes. So मैच से पहले उन्होंने किया, which I also think was a bit risky. Because there was the chance कि they could have lost that match, ठीक है, तो वो risky हो सकता है. So the fact that Karachi का भी बन रहा है वो उन्होंने थोड़ा सा मुझे लगता है time ज़ाया किया. They should have had it ready. Yeah, 4-5 days.
Because we're seeing tweets from really exciting artists like Asim Azhar. We're seeing Tala Yunus, it is, I believe, they're talking about it. But you're thinking to yourself, यार ये हफ्ता पहले अगर हो जाता, it would have built the interest. It would have built जिस तरह आपने कहा, again, campaignable. It's something I'm going to keep with me for the rest of my life because it makes so much sense to think about it in that regard. Multan didn't make an anthem. They were pretty clear about it. They were happy with last year's anthem.
I
obviously,
absolutely loved that anthem. उसी को दोबारा चला दें, वही उठाएं.
I think उसको तो चला रहे हैं.
चला रहे हैं.
Yes, I think they're using it in their thing. Again, I have to try and not be biased, both as a fan and an ex-employee. But they were very happy with it. I really enjoyed the fact that they incorporated Saraiki into it. You're unlucky enough to follow me on Twitter. आपको पता है मैं सारा दिन लगा रहता हूँ इसके बारे में. So I enjoyed that. The fans enjoy it. I know the fans love it. So I think for them it was a case of यार जो है उसको अभी हम use कर रहे हैं. We're okay with it.
I think that's brilliant. I think that's brilliant. I'm personally not one of those people who's like yeah, naya. Even as even as a creative, let's say, if I was working for one of these brands, तो मैं भी कहूँ यार अगर हमने एक अच्छी चीज बनाई है उसको use करें, keep using it. And even though मुझे उसका एक लफ्ज़ नहीं समझ आया था, and I'm probably going to butcher the word, it was tak mede sona.
Meda Sona, yes, you got it just right. You're natural.
I probably butchered it. So मुझे वो याद है. I remember it. मैंने वो last year सुना था. I loved the beat, loved the whole, vibe of it. I could tell कि अच्छा ये कुछ मुल्तान related है. उस पे मुल्तान सुल्तान ना भी लिखा था. I could tell this is something to do with Multan. So conceptually, creatively, वो बहुत अच्छा था. उसको I feel like again PSL से एक हफ्ता पहले push करना शुरू कर देते, with the whole champions or whatever, coming back या something like that, ताकि उसकी recall दोबारा से होती कि अच्छा. I feel like वो last year भी थोड़ा late, if I'm not wrong, थोड़ा late release हुआ था.
Yes.
I think a week after maybe PSL started, or maybe 10 days after it started, तब जाके हुआ था.
Sometime around then, yes.
हाँ. So, इस दफा they should have put it up on थोड़ा सा कोई, उसका एक spot बना लेते छोटा सा, and उसको TV पे run करते, उसको digital पे I think up करना शुरू किया उन्होंने push. They should have started a week पहले, in my opinion. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's so. I know the team will be listening, and hopefully, it's something they can utilize. Why I'm saving Peshawar for the end is because, of course, they do something with anthems all the time.
Yeah.
Quetta Gladiators had an anthem this year dedicated mostly towards Shahid Afridi. Ab dekhein, whatever people's thoughts are or they're not, Shahid Afridi for Pakistanis is a cricketing icon.
Absolutely, yeah.
Love him or hate him, he is Pakistan cricket for the last 20 years, and he's still someone jinka aura hai. And he wanted to play for Quetta, and Quetta wanted him in their team, so he's there. Abhi unka thoda sa injuries or COVID ke issues chal rahe hain. He's done a lot of wonderful work in Balochistan. I think sometimes people overlook the humanitarian work that our cricketers do, but Shahid Bhai ne bahut zabardast kaam. So they wanted to dedicate the anthem to him, which they did. Again, there can be some level of complaint from people like myself, which I have been lucky enough to talk to them about. Okay, there needs to be more elements of Balochi. There needs to be more elements of the province of Balochistan and the city of Quetta. But to their great credit, they've said, yes, we are going to take this on board and we will go with it forward. Again, हमने last time भी बात की थी कि बहुत पुराना time होगा जब gladiators नजर आते होंगे शायद क्वेटा में. But it's something that they've taken on board and are willing to talk about. Islamabad United, आपकी team, they're also working on an anthem. उनका भी I think थोड़ा सा obviously delay हो गया. Islamabad mein, Bissmah ji, I always feel, and again, it was something I was lucky enough to tell their management, that Islamabad is so unique because Islamabad is populated by all Pakistanis. As a capital, as log kehte hain, haan ji, Islamabad to bana hi 70s mein tha, but ab Islamabad ko bhi to 50 साल हो गए हैं.
हम भी बड़े हो गए हैं. अब we're no longer the छोटा भाई, अब हम भी बड़े हो गए हैं.
Exactly, and आपके पास इतनी डाइवर्सिटी है. आपके पास ना सिर्फ वो लोग हैं जो कि इर्द गिर्द के इलाकों से आते हैं, बट आपके पास पूरे पाकिस्तान से लोग आके वहां पे रहते हैं, काम करते हैं. It's quite an amalgamation, Islamabad. Just saying it कि नहीं जी वहां सारे पिंडी के लोग हैं, it's very unfair for people who are not from there. वहां पूरे पाकिस्तान से, वहां internationally इतने.
Internationally, yeah, there's a very big international population living here. So
do you think उसको target करना चाहिए, Bissmah ji? Do you think that something should be done given the unique place Islamabad finds itself in? And also as the most successful franchise, they have fans for cricketing reasons who will do anything for Islam. I mean, I was surprised कितने ज़्यादा लोग इस्लामाबाद को support करते हैं जो कराची में, मुल्तान में, पेशावर में, places with strong franchises. But they're like, नहीं भाई, हम तो we love Islamabad and they are our team. Look at the way they play cricket, which is true. They play amazing cricket. They're aggressive. They're attacking. Very likable brand. So do you think they should try and incorporate all these different things, the multi-ethnic setup, the use of different languages? Islamabad is one place I never hear the same language constantly being spoken. You can go to different parts of the city. सारी ज़बानें इस्तेमाल हो रही होती हैं. लोग multilingual होते हैं. So do you think that's something going forward? ये साल तो हो गया. That Islamabad can incorporate?
Achha, before I start with Islamabad, Quetta ki, I wanted to say something about the anthem.
Please.
I really did appreciate कि उन्होंने इस साल effort की है to come up with something, and it sounds like they're starting to take themselves as a brand seriously. So that effort is commendable. However, I feel like वो anthem ना थोड़ा सा nothing wrong with it conceptually कि वो शायद अफरीदी को tribute देना चाह रहे थे क्या, everything along those lines is fine. Production wise I feel like again not an anthem, you know, not a singable कोई word होता है,
Yes,
something
yes,
that you can sing
enjoyable,
along.
yeah, hummable.
हाँ, hummable, sing along to, and I feel like ये एक चीज जो है, I think somewhere along the I don't know PSL journey brands have forgotten कि यार anthems जो होते हैं ना, वो जब FIFA के anthems होते हैं, जब भी World Cup होता है, ठीक है, वो instant get up and dance, you know, move, उनकी vibe होती है, ठीक है. एंड अच्छा चले आपने नहीं ज्यादा, जिसका ग्रूव मेरा था, ठीक है, ग्रूव मेरा मेक्स मी वांट टू गेट, मेरी मेहंदी होगी, मैं ग्रूव मेरा पे ना मेड लेके आऊंगी, उसमें डांस परफॉर्मेंस कराऊंगी
इंशाल्लाह.
बट जस्ट सेइंग कि यू नो वो चीज उसमें मिसिंग थी. अगेन थोड़ा सा मुझे उससे जल्मी वाइब्स आ रही थी फ्रॉम द क्वेटा एंथम. आई कुड बी रॉन्ग, सब्जेक्टिव होता है पूरा ये जो यू नो एज अ कंज्यूमर आपको गाना अच्छा लगा या नहीं लगा. So उसमें there was that. Now coming to Islamabad का एक ongoing मसला है Islamabad United का as a brand, not as a team, as a brand, ठीक है. That other than the fact कि वो नहीं करते, मुझे I can't seem to get Manchester United out of my mind when I think of Islamabad United.
That won't make you happy. It will make me very happy, but it won't make you happy. So
It does not make me happy. And ये नहीं कि मतलब you know just because I'm a Liverpool fan तो अगर वो Liverpool type branding मुझे वो भी अच्छी नहीं लगी थी, because यार you have your own वो, it's like somebody in Islamabad United was a very big Manchester United fan और उसने कहा यार बस ये brand बना दो, ये this is Manchester United, ये copy paste. I feel like that's what happened. And the look on your face right now,
it is not, because I know none of them are. That's the funny part. None of them are United fans.
Okay, that's very strange then, क्योंकि that's
Maybe
the
someone at
feeling
the agency was. I'll have to ask, but none of them. They all like they love their Real Madrid fans. They support other teams. United, I think, उसके पीछे for them was the fact that आप मुल्क को unite करते हो. But you're right, United in red is something that the average sports person will relate more to that. And mashallah, आजकल हमारे अपने Manchester United के हालात इतने अच्छे हैं. So what do you think they can do better to try and incorporate more of an Islamabad identity into the brand?
Yeah, I think they do need to थोड़ी सी एक तो it's a given कि Manchester United vibe से थोड़ा सा हटें, उसकी identity से हटें and अपनी एक create करें. Also the fact that Islamabad United is red.
Bissmah ji, the Islamabad anthem is out while we've been having this conversation. First thoughts?
I liked it. I didn't मतलब at first वो मतलब मैंने 2 दफा सुना है since it came out, and I don't hate it. I'm not blown away. I won't say oh my god, you know, this is the best thing ever, but I like it. And what I really like about it is that जो उनका वो है रंग जीत का लाल है, their slogan है वो, उसके अंदर बड़ा अच्छी तरह से incorporate हो रहा है. And maybe that's something that other teams can learn कि अपना एक campaign या अपना एक brand जो slogan है उसको how to you know repeat it each year, even if you have to do a new production each year. आप जरूर करें, लेकिन कुछ तो लिंक बैक करें ना to a core brand you know theme or something like that. So I like that they incorporated it. Anthem itself मुझे अच्छा लगा है. Normally I'm not a huge fan of rap, but Islamabad के साथ थोड़ा rap वाली feel जाती है, you know, just with the city as well. So वो I like that as well. अच्छा, it's nice. It's singable, it's hummable, so it's good.
Exactly. It's like I enjoyed the rap part also. I'm a big fan of Tala Anjum's, and you know it was really nice. And like you said, the colors that they've used, the way they've used the players. Yeah. For a second, I thought, wow, Asif can bat and he can dance. Then I realized it was the dancer wearing an Asif shirt. No end to Asif Ali's talents. Karachi Kings anthem, we're talking about it still possibly coming out. Multan Sultans have been very clear; they're sticking to it. हम थोड़ी देर पहले Quetta की बात कर रहे थे. Lahore Qalandars, maybe like we just discussed earlier. You know, happy to talk about let people talk about their past anthems, maybe not so focused on it. And now of course coming to the big one, the very big anthem that everybody is talking about, Bissmah ji. I'm going to let you talk about it. I'll give my thoughts about it a little later. Peshawar Zalmi Anthem Kings, let's be very clear about it, the most anticipated anthem every time, the one people are looking forward to every time. Last year's anthem came out and we discussed it in the last show also. So thoughts on the Zalmi anthem?
Okay, so first of all, I think एक बात जो commendable है, जो ज़ल्मी की टीम को आप credit दे सकते हैं कि उन्होंने एक hype इतनी मचा दी हुई है ना around their anthems कि even rival teams के fans भी wait कर रहे होते हैं. I'll be very honest, ठीक है, कि यार what are they going to make, you know? So वो भी create करना for a brand custodian just to, you know, get people interested about content and ask कि, you know, कब आ रहे हैं, it's a big deal, ठीक है? There's a whole working behind that as well, ठीक है? Coming to the anthem itself, I have pretty much the same comments as last year. I don't hate it. I love the song. Gana bahut acha hai. The production is amazing. It's even better than last year. Okay? Some of the work that I saw in it, the VFX and the wo jo andar sara jo working hui bhi hai, theek hai, wo I was blown away. For a minute I was blown away because वो कोई बहुत next level किसी, you know, Hollywood film level production, you know, वो वाकई में है, ठीक है. However, when you talk about the concept of the anthem, मुझे वो समझ नहीं आया. I didn't get it. So I think when we talk about Peshawar Zalmi, it's very, you know, it's essential कि हम जो brand की जो values हैं और जो brand की जो, you know, creative direction है, उसको separate रखें from the production value of the anthem, because they're two different things. So production itself is a 12 out of 10, ठीक है. But क्या उसमें ज़ल्मी का brand incorporate हुआ है? Do I get sport anthem vibes from it? No. Is it singable? No. Is it something that you can play in a stadium instantly, you know, सबका mood lift करने के लिए? I think it would do the opposite, because वो बहुत dark है. You know, वो आपको थोड़ा सा वो कर देते हैं, like एकदम से slow down कर देते हैं. I don't think that's what an anthem is supposed to do. It should have a beat. I'm not saying कि हर कोई groove मेरा type कुछ बना दे, but कुछ तो होनी चाहिए, right? That's how I feel कि, you know, एक sports anthem की थोड़ी सी उसमें कोई lively, it should be a bit upbeat and lively, ठीक है? That's what I feel is missing. And the song itself is amazing. मैं वो गाड़ी में चलते हुए drive करते हुए I would love to listen to it. I had the same feedback last year as well, जो I think Kingdom वाला जो anthem
Kingdom,
था.
yes.
Yeah, it was an amazing song. बहुत अच्छा गाना था. Again, I didn't get an anthem vibes. So अभी भी मुझे, I keep going back to that Zalmi का anthem जो उनका पश्तो rap वाला something था.
Yes, पश्तूनखोर
And
के
वो मैं
साथ.
अभी भी play करती हूँ randomly, you know, because I love listening to it. I love the beat. And interestingly, ये तीनों एक ही director ने बनाए हैं. So वो वाला भी जो last year वाला Kingdom था और इस साल वाला भी, all three of them have been done by the same director. So it just goes to show कि, you know, अगर brand team strategically और creatively align कर रही हो, you know, third party director को, तो आप कर सकते हैं. So I feel like they leave too much of it to the director, and there's not enough, you know, brand essence और brand की values क्या हैं, brand ज़ल्मी का brand है क्या, ठीक है? वो उसमें से मुझे निकल के नहीं आ रही. अभी मुझे थोड़ा सा ना at the very first, जब I think पहले 10-15 seconds जब वो माहिरा, you know, she's doing those, I read a really funny comment कि, you know, ये kung fu panda कहाँ से आ गए. So I laughed because मुझे initially तो समझ ही नहीं आया कि what's going on. Maybe there is a concept to it and maybe, you know, मैं grasp नहीं कर पा रही. But the thing is कि आप जब masses के लिए कोई content बनाते हैं तो वो इतना abstract नहीं होना चाहिए कि आम आदमी को समझ ना आए, ठीक है? अगर आप एक बहुत niche audience के लिए बना रहे होते तो फिर ठीक है, but masses के लिए थोड़ा सा आपको अवामी रखना पड़ता है. I personally feel, ठीक है? So मुझे तो, and being a marketer, मुझे concept नहीं समझ आया, to be very honest, ठीक है? There was another really funny comment that I read कि, you know, ये तो Marvel की दुनिया में चले गए हैं, you know, they need to chill a bit, ये तो उस दुनिया में चले गए हैं. And again, full credit to the director for giving that look and feel and creating that universe. But brand kind, what does the Zalmi brand stand for? What are their values? What are they celebrating? What are they trying to depict about their team? वो कुछ नहीं नजर आया मुझे उसके अंदर.
And then there were little things, Bissmah ji, that from a cricketing point of view, like someone pointed out that in what situation would you see Usman Qadir, a lower order batsman, playing ahead of Shoaib Malik? जब आपके पास सारे players हैं, तो someone should be coming. ठीक है, people can say जी छोटी सी बात है, but it is a cricket-related anthem for a cricket franchise. That's like taking the goalkeeper off and sending on a defender into the goal and thinking football fans will not notice. We will notice. Fans will be looking at it and saying, ये क्या हो रहा है भाई? So
Yes.
that was a bit surprising. The other thing that maybe they did take on some of the criticism from last year is the Pashto was not involved. So this time there was a little bit of
They
Pashto in
did.
the song.
Yes. Yes.
And again, like you said, very listenable, something you wouldn't mind having on your playlist, but does it give you those anthem vibes? And jo aapki last point सबसे important थी कि it's not a niche anthem, or if it is, then it should be marketed as such. It's
Yeah.
something for the fans at large. The fans at large, cover people who are very passionate about their team,
Yes.
very passionate about their culture, very passionate about their language. और उस सारे में आप उनको कह रहे हो कि जी ये देखें, ये मार्वल की यूनिवर्स में अगर थॉर और हल्क आके क्रिकेट मैच खेल रहे हैं और उससे पहले थोड़ी सी कंफू हो जाए. I'm sure, like you said, the director has a great idea because they're very watchable videos. They're
They
very
are.
listenable,
Absolutely.
listenable songs. But it's just like you said, right? Like, what is the anthem part of this? So maybe Zalmi have a strategy that they feel it'll get noticed. I mean, they do get noticed.
They do
It's
get
just
noticed. Absolutely. Yeah.
it's just that maybe if I'm not a Zalmi fan, so maybe for Zalmi fans, is it something that they relate to? Like we went back to talking about the like you said, rap is something people are happy to associate with Islamabad. So you have that little connection with it. When Lahore Qalandars did Papu Yaar Tang Na Kar is something people associate with Lahoris, and they were happy to see that. Tak Mera Sona had Seraiki in it. We were very happy as Multan fans to utilize it. Even Quetta and Shahid Afridi, we were happy to put those things. So for Zalmi, the anthem kings, the ones who always put out the big anthem, to have in anthem sense, not like you said, not production value, not
Yes.
music value, in anthem sense, something so underwhelming or so vague with regards to the brand, yeah, is definitely a little bit disappointing. Because usi point se, Bissmah ji, I want to come as we come towards the end of the show, talk about kits. As football fans, you and I are people who put a lot of emphasis on badges. Badges are a very integral part of your team's kit and the identity. A huge credit to both Peshawar Zalmi and Quetta Gladiators for having something attached to the badge. In Peshawar Zalmi's case, Khapal team, which is Pashto for our team. In Quetta's case, Shane Pakistan. You love to see it. Why are the other four franchises not utilizing this and putting something in Urdu, Punjabi, Seraiki, anything, even something maybe in English if they want to, on the badges? This is surely an opportunity for them. I liked what both Islamabad and Multan have done on their playing badges. Borrow it from Syria and started putting a star. Islamabad have two, Multan have one for. But surely the badge should say, like, I would love for the Multan badge to say Janoob ki Pehchan. I think the Islamabad badge should say something, considering we were talking a little earlier about Islamabad's unique status as a place that's home to Pakistanis of all backgrounds. So don't you feel that the teams that haven't done this with their badges should also look to do it?
एब्सोल्युटली ये एक चीज हमने आई थिंक हसन लास्ट ईयर भी डिस्कस की थी कि जो एक इंटीग्रेटेड ब्रांडिंग एफर्ट है वो मिसिंग है. ठीक है. सो बी इट badges, be it kits, be it what they're doing on social media, be it what they're doing on in their anthems, या अगर वो कोई let's say कोई स्टेडियम में एक्टिविटी करा रहे हैं या जो एक्टिवेशंस हो रही होती हैं etc. So they're not connected under one big idea or under one big it's like जो in-house teams हैं वो briefs दे देती हैं to their different let's say अगर तो agencies से काम करा रही हैं तो agencies को देती हैं, in-house ही अगर काम हो रहा है. So I feel like different people are being made to work on, which is the case कि obviously जो kit design कर रहे हैं वही तो anthem का concept नहीं लिख रहा. But I feel like उनको एक जो brand का big idea है, ठीक है, वो सबको नहीं बताया जाता कि यार ये incorporate करना है. That's what I feel is missing from all the teams, ठीक है. And which is what's causing this haphazard bow as well कि अगले साल का anthem जो है वो पिछले साल के anthem से उसका कोई thematic link नहीं होता, ठीक है, conceptual link नहीं होता. You can talk about रंग जीत का लाल है in so many ways, ठीक है, जिस तरह this year उन्होंने rap बना के कुछ कर दिया and they've done that paint वाली they've got that painter on board. I think that's a very good idea जो Islamabad United ने किया है.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about the kit design, but अभी मैं concept की बात कर रही हूँ to get to play with रंग जीत का लाल है. उन्होंने उसको किसी तरह से conceptually integrate किया है, ठीक है. अगले साल they could do it some other way, but वो एक central core big idea needs to be translated across all touch points, and I feel like that's missing. वो पहले बनना चाहिए before we get on to badges and team के ऊपर क्या आना चाहिए, और वो हर उसके अंदर reflect हो, be it your kits, your anthems, your social media activities, even any activities in the stadium that you do with your players. So that's something that I think teams, all the 6 franchises need to go back and think यार अच्छा हमारा क्या है, because I get so many mixed messages. अच्छा ज़ल्मी का आपने अभी you brought up खपाल team.
Yes.
There's उनका येलो स्टॉर्म का भी हैशटैग कहीं फ्लोट अराउंड करता रहता है, उनका किंगडम का भी हैशटैग कहीं फ्लोट अराउंड करता रहता है. Too many messages, समझ आ रही है? Then it's the same for all of them. क्वेटा की भी अभी शाने पाकिस्तान अभी वो चलना शुरू हुए.
Kai Quetta and Gladiators.
Yes, ठीक है.
Purple Force.
बिल्कुल. So too many messages. Like एक streamline करें, कोई central big idea, ठीक है, and उसको आप carry forward करें, and it should be versatile across, enough to fit all your different touch points. So again, I would go back to the fact that the brand teams, I feel like I don't want to say they don't know what they're doing. They obviously know what they're doing, but I feel like उनको integrate करना उनके लिए सारे messages को बहुत important है. That's something that's not being done.
And it's like you said rightly, Naji, कि अब देखें, it's nice to see. There are some people who are saying that the kit should be changed every year. Some teams don't believe in it. When I spoke to Multan Sultans, they said, look, we like our kit. It represents what we think about. We were very clear, and at that time I was lucky enough to be involved with the franchise, that they don't want it to be just based to Multan city. They wanted to cover the whole region. So it's got, landmarks from Dera Ghazi Khan, it's got landmarks from Bahawalpur, from Multan, all together to represent the region. Islamabad United, very clear. Zalmi, again, like you said, they brought the Markhor into it. Quetta. So very important point आपने जो raise किया about the brands having an exact idea. अब kits पे जब हम आते हैं, तो Islamabad and Imran Qureshi, look, I know nothing about art, absolutely nothing. But even I, as a neutral fan, thought, okay, wow, this is cool. This is interesting that you get someone who's an internationally acclaimed artist to add a little bit of color to a kit that yesterday, you were saying it's a bit too red. So to add that little blue to it, add that little color to it, surely that's something in the right direction in terms of what you're looking for teams to experiment with.
Yeah. So the thing is, as an art, जब आप लाते हैं बीच में, art is subjective, ठीक है, किसी को वो चीज अच्छी लगेगी, किसी को वो नहीं लगेगी, ठीक है, अच्छी. I like the idea that they got an artist on board. They did something completely different, ठीक है, कि उन्होंने artist से ही, वो अपनी बनवाई सारा कुछ, they left everything to him. However, I feel like from because thoda bahut graphic design, when I used to be a designer, my boss always used to say to me that graphic design is partially art and partially science, ठीक है.
Yes.
So it's not just art, ठीक है. So art जो होती है ना, वो subjective होने के साथ साथ it can be anything, it can mean anything, ठीक है. It doesn't have to communicate a certain brand value or a certain commercial slogan. उसका मकसद वो नहीं होता करना. However, when you talk about graphic design, or let's say ये जो आपकी kit designs हैं, they are supposed to communicate a certain brand essence and a certain brand value or brand image, ठीक है. उनका ये मकसद है, ठीक है. So अगर तो ये, if we were doing fashion week, I don't know, PSL, if we were doing fashion week PSL, by all means do whatever, go crazy with it, ठीक है, आपने जो करना है करें, ठीक है, that's art. But when you're making it for actual commercial use, थोड़ा सा उसको link करें to your brand. I didn't get मुझे conceptually the blue flower on the bow, it's very artsy, and I'm sure that the artist has a concept behind it. I'm not bashing the work of the artist. Again, coming to the brand team Islamabad की, कि उन्होंने brief क्या दी थी, कि what values are we trying to communicate about Islamabad through our kit, ठीक है, about our team through our kit. So वो चीज मुझे लगता है थोड़ी सी weak थी, क्योंकि मुझे नहीं समझ आई. I wasn't able to understand. It looks different. थोड़ा सा it's definitely new, but again इतना abstract नहीं करना चाहिए आपको किसी भी अवामी चीज को, because I personally think cricket is very awami. there is nothing niche about cricket in Pakistan. ठीक है, हर कोई देखता है, whether you're from SEC A plus or SEC D, you know, whatever, you know, socioeconomic class you're from, you are watching cricket. So it's in fact one of the few things in this country जो, you know, हर कोई, you know, उस पे unite कर सकता है. ठीक है, so इतना abstract ना रखें is what I'm saying. उसको थोड़ा सा conventional में थोड़ा सा mainstream I would say होना चाहिए. All cricket content should be a bit mainstream. Yeah. So Islamabad United has I would say that the effort should be appreciated. Conceptually थोड़ा सा वो बेहतर हो सकता था. That's what I feel.
Bissmah ji, we also look at the fact that, for example, then usi se inspire okay, we see Zalmi trying to bring a lot of things into their kit. Also, they spoke about the flowers of Peshawar. They spoke about, you know, utilizing the different animals and things. But again, going back to the point you just made, does it need to be so abstract, so niche? When isn't it? Again, people will say कि आप oversimplify कर रहे हैं, आप आवाम को credit नहीं दे रहे, आप लोगों की. But isn't something that people are able to relate to, like, for example, the Khyber Pass, you know, or the gates in Peshawar, or landmarks, easier to do than trying to have an intricate flower pattern and then looking at people and saying कि जी आप इसको, because आप लोगों पे फिर onus डाल रहे हैं कि आप देख के इसको समझें, ये हमारी कोशिश थी, आप क्यों नहीं समझ रहे?
हमने amazing concept बनाया है, आप इसको समझें. That's what I feel is going on. I personally liked the you know जो उन्होंने abstract वो कुछ किया है, but वही जो हमने discussion की है कि वो too abstract हो गया है. It should never get to the point where, you know, you're leaving as a brand custodian. You should never let your, you know, any marketing message you're throwing, and a kit is a marketing message. Okay? Even if you would like to think it's not, everything that a brand does is a message. Okay? Anything that they're doing publicly.
Just to put it up there for people to take a look.
That's actually great. So everything that you do put out as a brand is a message. Okay? So वो इतना complicated, especially अगर आप एक brand हैं जो masses को cater करते हैं, वो इतना complicated या abstract नहीं होना चाहिए कि लोगों को समझ ना आए. I don't think it's a bad kit by any means. I like the you know जो उन्होंने उसके अंदर twist दिया and सारा कुछ. However, वही बात थोड़ी सी abstract है, थोड़ी सी मुझे लग रहा है they could have done this in a more minimalistic way. You know, जिस तरह I personally loved Multan की जो अभी, you know, their kit. The way they've done it, उन्होंने भी कोई local element उठा के उसको बहुत minimalist तरीके से, you know, उसको you know, project किया है, and I think they've done it beautifully. Another issue with the you know Zalmi kit is कि एक concept होता है in design where your design needs to be scalable. ठीक है, so scalable means कि अगर आप अभी आप मुझे ये image दिखा रहे हैं, इतनी सी मुझे नजर आ रही है, right? So मुझे इसके अंदर भी मैं I should be able to discern कि अच्छा क्या elements use हुए हैं. जो मुल्तान की kit है उसके अंदर वो pattern जो है it's all over the kit, and I can discern it from a small, you know, वो frame as well. I can discern कि what's going on. So for this, if it's right in front of my face, the actual kit या actual shirt अगर मेरे सामने पड़ी होगी तब मैं देख सकूंगी कि अच्छा ये क्या है. It's not a scalable design is what I'm saying. ये सिर्फ एक certain scale पे अगर आप view करेंगे तो आपको समझ आएगी, छोटा होगा तो आपको समझ नहीं आएगी. That's something that, you know, we have to apply to logos as well. कि logo आजकल तो सारे logos ही आपको, you know, they should be visible on a phone, right? तो अगर बहुत छोटा logo के अंदर आप बहुत ज़्यादा detail और intricate patterns डाल देंगे, वो नहीं समझ आएगा. So I like the effort again. It's something different. थोड़ा सा from a design perspective, थोड़ा सा उसके अंदर ये issue है.
And of course, it needs to be added to this, Bissmah ji, that for someone like me who has to wear that kit, वो आधी kit तो आगे इतनी निकली होगी जो आपने पेट पे डाली हुई है. So you have to think about that also. And then secondly, I have a pet peeve. I don't know, people will disagree. I don't like seeing players' names not on the back of their shirt and being replaced by its sponsored name. I know sponsors are hugely important and they have to be, but surely we can find another place to put the tag, because I want to see the player's name. The player's name being right there somewhere else under the number. Maybe apni pet peeve hai, maybe I'm too much of a football fan, but it really annoys me.
No, as a sports fan, that's what you expect. ठीक है. So आपको जो भी डिजाइनर बना रहे होते हैं चीज, उसको keeping in mind eye का जो flow होता है where is the eye going to go सबसे पहले. That it's the job of the designer to keep that in mind कि जो भी मेरा ये content consume करेगा, उसकी आंख पहले कहाँ जाएगी. So it's only natural for us to be drawn to that area कि यार अच्छा यहाँ पे player का नाम आता है. ठीक है. वो मुझे भी एक चीज थोड़ी सी बॉदर कर रही है. Maybe we could have figured out an alternate placement for the sponsors instead of having that बिल्कुल नीचे ऊपर करके that instead of that being the first thing that you see.
Exactly. Now we'll move on, Bismah ji, to the Quetta kit. They've just made subtle changes. They've added a little bit of gold into it. Not a lot of reworking, but they're happy with with what they've brought in. The change, they're saying KG because it's known as the Purple Force. We've added clean lines, proper pattern has emerged. They're very happy about this. So again, as a design person looking at this, any thoughts, anything that you think stands out?
I actually like the Quetta kit. So अब मुझे ये exactly उतना ही नजर आ रही है on the screen जितना मुझे ज़ल्मी की आ रही थी, right? However, इसमें instantly I can see those those जो उन्होंने वो थोड़ा सा I think वो जो टच होता है आर्मर वाला उन्होंने देने की कोशिश की है, जो you call it armor, right?
Yes, absolutely. Gladiators. Yes.
बिल्कुल ठीक है. So वो I'm getting that instantly looking at it इतने से size पे भी मुझे instantly समझ आ रही है कि अच्छा ये ये वो है. So I'm able to understand it instantly. With the Zalmi kit, the issue was कि वो इतना intricate था वो design कि unless मैं बिल्कुल नाक के नीचे खड़े होके देखूंगी तब मुझे समझ आएगी अच्छा इसमें ये है, इसमें ये है, इसमें there's flowers, इसमें ये है. So that's what I meant about being scalable. And I think this is a very nice scalable design. Okay? Functionally, it delivers. Aesthetically, I don't have a problem with it. I think the purple and gold का उन्होंने अच्छा वो रखा है combo. There's not enough. But there's not too much contrast. It's nicely color palette जो है वो इतना gaudy नहीं है. Yeah, it's a subtle purple with subtle gold. It's not chieftawa gold. So I think it's a good job. Quetta have done a good job. Yeah.
And now, moving on to the home and away kits of the Lahore Qalandars. So they've gone for home and away kits this year, this time around. I think at the moment for Lahore Qalandars, it's easy to market things because you have Shaheen Afridi. Anything Shaheen Afridi is wearing, Pakistanis are going to be like, yes, that looks great. It's absolutely fantastic. We need to look at these without Shaheen Bhai in them. Then I think we can be a little bit more objective. I like the idea, Bissmah ji, of home and away kits. But again, does anything about this scream Lahore to you?
I don't know what's going on at Lahore Qalandars. मुझे मैं अक्सर सोचती हूँ इसके बारे में कि Lahore Qalandars में हो क्या रहा है. Not the cricket team, but Lahore Qalandars की brand team या in the organization itself उसमें हो क्या रहा है. I'm very curious. ये एक mystery है. एक दिन I hope I will be able to solve this because ये एक तो the video that they put out जिसमें इन्होंने unveil की थी the kit, the quality again of the audio visual उसके अंदर जो वो था सारा, it was too off. Are you मतलब unless हमारी बात हुई थी अभी थोड़ी देर पहले भी कि लाहौर के unless तो उनकी strategy यही है to become the most memeable brand out there, which by the way can be a very good strategy like we discussed.
Yes,
let the fans ये होता है in sport especially. There are plenty of brands who do let fans co-create with them, ठीक है, and create the brand identity इकट्ठे मिलके. But ये अभी मुझे समझ नहीं आ रही what's going on. The quality, the design, I have no idea. Even basic सी चीज है. If you look at the red kit, the logo जिस तरह से उस पे लगा हुआ है कि उन्होंने white background वाला box काट के उस पे लगा दिए. Logos के when you place them on different color backgrounds, आप उनके inverse versions लगाते हैं, invert करके, ठीक है. So if you have let's say a red logo जो आपने red background पे लगाते हैं, तो आप उसका white version जो है या white variation जो है वो आप लगा देंगे red background पे ताकि वो उठे. आप पूरा का पूरा उसकी JPEG image उठा के white background पे उसको copy paste नहीं कर देंगे. It looks very unprofessional. you know, it gives. It's actually, as somebody who's been a designer, I'm a bit offended, you know, that they would take this so lightly. You know, this is something PSL पूरी दुनिया देख रही होती है. You know, there are Pakistanis, not just Pakistanis, cricket fans around the world जो ये देख रहे होते हैं, ठीक है? So this quality of work is it's very unprofessional, I would say. जो you know, the logo thing especially, you know, बाकी kit का design की aesthetics की मैं बात नहीं कर रही. Placing the logo like that, वो हम designers एक term use करते थे, चेपी लगा दी है, ठीक है? कि मतलब वहां से उठा के वो लगा दिए, तो वो that's what it's looking like, you know, कि ये किसी सॉफ्टवेयर में नहीं, बस उन्होंने पेंट में ही उठा के उसके ऊपर बस प्लेस कर दिए. So not cool.
And it looks like, Bismah ji, that not enough attention has been put into the fact that the fans will wear this. And again, I will give huge credit to Qalandars fans. You always see them decked out in their team's colors. Lahore mein aap chale jaye, kahin pe bhi, you will see it unke, balke in the recent past, abhi mazi mein hi maine dekha hai कि they have visits from, you know, overseas bloggers. वो उनको भी लाहौर कलंदर्स की किट्स पहना के कह रहे हैं भाई अगर आपने लाहौरी बनना है तो आप ये. They take pride in this kit, so surely give them something that I think represents their pride and their passion for their team. Why not get fans involved? I mean, the fact that you don't have Minare Pakistan or Data Darbar shown in any way whatsoever, and do either of those color schemes scream Lahore to you? Because they don't to me. Red and black and this weird
especially the green
99 World Cup wala green.
Yeah, especially the green one. उसमें वो जो नीचे black से वो are they hills? वो could you open it again? वो
yes, I'll have to look for it again, but I'll just open it for you. I'm not sure because I know we don't have hills in Lahore, at least to my knowledge
I
at
was
the moment.
thinking ये तो उन्होंने कुछ conceptually कुछ गड़बड़ की है उधर कि वो it looks like hills to me personally. Green के ऊपर जो black that's another thing I noticed, but I was so distracted by वो जो logo जिस तरह से वो place किया हुआ उसके ऊपर on white background कि मैं और कुछ देख ही नहीं सकी.
ये देखें आप कौन से हाँ I mean like here I would imagine is a perfect example to utilize something from Lahore, but instead you're right. Are there hills? Are there upside down trees? What's going on?
I have no idea. However, आपने अभी एक बात की थी कि they have Shaheen Afridi and you know anything that Shaheen is wearing will sell. ठीक है, इतनी बड़ी opportunity अभी आपके पास, आप उसको utilize करें. And एक चीज जो I think these सारे जो kits जो design कर रहे हैं that they keep forgetting is कि you know it's also an opportunity to sell a good shirt. ठीक है, so खाली sports के उससे नहीं आप फॉर एग्जाम्पल मेरी जो लिवरपूल की शर्ट्स हैं मेरे पास जो हैं वो मैं वैसे कैजुअली भी वेयर यू नो आई कैन वेयर देम सो इफ आई एम गोइंग आउट गेटिंग रेडी यू नो नॉट फॉर अ स्पोर्ट इवेंट वैसे भी आई विल समटाइम्स वेयर दैट टी शर्ट ठीक है सो कीप दैट इन माइंड एज वेल कि यार आप ऐसी शर्ट बनाएं जो एस्थेटिकली इतनी अच्छी हो कि यू नो यू कैन वेयर इट आउट एंड अबाउट वैसे भी ऑन इट्स ओन एज वेल दैट्स समथिंग आई फील सारी किड्स में से मिसिंग है.
Balki in all football clubs, Bismah ji, have what they call you know a fashion range, which is just the club badge and things related to the club put on regular everyday t-shirt. Are our franchises not missing out the opportunity to incorporate that when all of us want to wear something or the other that shows our support for our team?
Bilkul. And especially PSL, you know, times pe, you could have a campaign online, you know, for engagement की. Instagram पे वैसे लोग सारा वक्त तस्वीरें डाल रहे होते हैं. आप एक Instagram पे छोटी सी campaign करा लें for, you know, who styles are who styles are kits the best. You know, you could do a small go for it, contest for it. It's just get people excited about wearing your kit. Yeah.
Well, if this doesn't get people excited about wearing the Karachi kit, I don't know what will. Here we go with the new Karachi kit. Some changes, a little bit of different colors and all. Again, though, Bissmah ji, does something about this stand out to you as being related to Karachi?
I don't know what the obsession with red is. सारी teams को red से बहुत ज़्यादा कोई वो है, you know, they're quite So I think the day I saw this kit, I tweeted about this as well, that the first thing that bothers me about this is the contrast between the two shades that have been picked. And अभी ये इधर जो आ रही है, it's looking more red. कल जो मैं मैच देख रही थी कराची का, उसमें it was more maroon. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, yes.
है ना? So I
Yes.
think it's more like the shade that I'm wearing right now, the maroon shade that I'm wearing. It's closer
Yes.
to that than this red. So एक तो मुझे ये नहीं समझ आ रही कि actually is it blue and red or is it blue and maroon?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. There's not a lot of clarity.
When you see them playing it on the field, wearing it on the field, तो ये मेरून है. और कल मैं एक्चुअली मैं गौर से सबकी देख रही थी कि यार ये मेरून ही है, बिकॉज मैंने जितनी भी तस्वीरें देखी हैं उन सब में तो वो रेड नजर आ रही होती है. So maybe I don't know if this is a creative hook or something कि उन्होंने एंड पे वो जो ब्लैक एंड ब्लू वाला ड्रेस आई थी, कंट्रोवर्सी कि कुछ लोगों को ब्लू एंड ब्लैक नजर आ रहा था और कुछ लोगों को वो व्हाइट एंड पिंक नजर आ रहा था. Maybe Karachi has something like that up their sleeve. Is our kit maroon and blue or is it red and blue? Because right now I'm seeing red, but last night I was seeing maroon for sure. The contrast doesn't aesthetically, conceptually aap छोड़ें कि Karachi में red, what is red about Karachi? Aesthetically, the contrast between this particular shade of blue with anything red is not the best idea ever. दूसरा there's again maybe there is, but इसमें मुझे नजर नहीं आ रहा. There's no local element, there's no कुछ भी नहीं है. It's just abstract सा कुछ है with the sponsors logos. So I don't really have much to say about it other than the fact that I think they could have done so much better Karachi के लिए.
Yeah, and you think to yourself again, huge fan base, massive, biggest city in Pakistan, so many people in the diaspora. Give them something they want to wear. Give them something, and surely now, I think after going into our 7th season of the PSL, surely by now the branding teams, the people in charge of this, are understanding that we have a product that people love. People want an association with that product. So, uske liye to I think उनके लिए जरूरी होना चाहिए. Obviously, अब बिस्मा जी मैं बहुत biased होऊंगा, तो I'm going to only let you talk about this because I am just too biased when it comes to a kit that not only I was a part of when we third straight year we're using the same kit. As a fan, I love it. I think it covers everything. A lot of the fans, though, and it's my duty to share this with you, a lot of the fans want change. Do you think that there should be subtle changes every year? Or do you think it's okay, like the franchise believes, to go with what we have and we're happy with it?
Achha, so to address your question, do we need changes every year? I don't think we need. अगर आप कोई एक चीज iconic बना देते हैं, let's say, जितने भी आइकॉनिक ब्रांड्स हैं, एंड आइकॉनिक ब्रांडिंग स्ट्रेटजी जो होती है वो यही होती है कि यार आप एक चीज ऐसी बनाएं जो आपने फॉर लाइफ, फॉर उसको टाइमलेस आपने उसको रखना है. ठीक है. I'll give you an example. Coca-Cola जो है, it's an iconic brand. ठीक है, Coke.
Yes.
And they have, somehow, उन्होंने उसको इतना वो कर लिया कि आप कोक का खा लिए, even if you see that particular shade of red somewhere, that particular with nothing else written on it, you instantly know it's Coke. It has something to do with Coke. So if they had kept changing, अपने shades of red, and if they had kept changing, and another beautiful thing about that is कि the typography of the Coke logo, ठीक है, वो जिस font में लिखी हुई है, आप उस font में कुछ और भी लिख के देखें, you instantly think the first thing that comes to your mind is Coke. ठीक है. So that's what an iconic brand does, कि वो पहचाना जाता है instantly. ठीक है. I feel like ये जो एक सबको एक वो मची हुई है कि यार एंथम भी नया हो, किट्स भी नहीं हो, सब कुछ पता, every year new, you will never be able to create a brand that's an icon. ठीक है, which will आज से जब 100 साल बाद when we're all gone and hopefully PSL is still around and is doing much better, तो तब के जो फैंस होंगे वो कोई हिस्ट्री कोई एसोसिएट कर सकें विद these franchises, कुछ उसके साथ they should be able to recall. अब अगर हमने उनको दिया हुआ होगा कि 19 तो मैं पीछे चली गई हूँ, 2020 में ये था, 2021 में ये था, 2022 में ये था, the fans from 100 years now, they will not be able to keep track at all. ठीक है. लिवरपूल की मैं एग्जांपल देती हूँ या मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड की मैं एग्जांपल देती हूँ या एनी ऑफ दीज आपके जो ये स्पोर्ट्स क्लब्स हैं, आप इनकी हॉलमार्क कुछ चीजें हैं जो हम आज से 100-200 साल बाद वी आर स्टिल एबल टू रिकॉल कि यार अच्छा ये
Exactly.
वी आर एबल टू एसोसिएट विद देम. If you keep doing this yearly basis पे changes, you will never be able to create super brands, mega brands like these football brands, क्योंकि किसी को याद ही नहीं रहना. आप reinforce करने की तो बारी नहीं आती, हम एक सीजन भी उसको पूरी तरह निकाल लें तो बहुत बड़ी बात है. ठीक है. By the way, I absolutely love this Multan ki. This is the training kit, right?
This is the training kit, yes.
I think this is the best kit I have seen so far. It's beautiful. I love the fact that there's a lot of design in it, yet it's minimalist. Okay, it's not screaming at me. I love the color combo, the green and the black, very nicely done. Just shade of green and with the shade of, I think it's not even a full pure black, it's more of a gray, a charcoal gray with a nice shade of green. Local touch bhi hai, minimalist bhi hai, it's not screaming at me. So I absolutely loved this kit. Even जो अभी मुल्तान की जो आप दिखा रहे थे जो पिछली वाली किट है, उसमें भी that landmark that they've shown बहुत minimal तरीके से दिखाया हुआ है. It's not again screaming at me. So I think दोनों kits मुल्तान की, if we were to rank the kits PSL की, number 1 पे definitely मुल्तान, number 2 number 2 I would definitely say Quetta, because they've done a decent job.
Yes. Yeah.
Number 3 pe I would say between Peshawar Zalmi and Islamabad United, I would say one of those. Maybe I'd go with Peshawar Zalmi. Yeah, I would go with Peshawar Zalmi because other than the scalable wala issue, I like the concept, even though it is abstract, thoda sa, it's nice. Okay? And then number 4 pe I'd say Islamabad United. They've done something different. So Karachi would be number 5. I have no idea wo itni kyun hai. And number 6 pe would be Lahore. That's just not cool.
That's just continuing how it goes on the pitch. You guys know I had to get that out there, of course. I'm going to be waiting for all of you to bash me in the comments, which I won't really mind considering what Multan pulled off with Lahore yesterday, able to make this comment going on with it. Bissmah ji, finally, before I let you go, thank you once again so much for your time, for all the input. As a brand custodian, as a person who has been a designer, as a person who is a creative, as a person who manages these things, Aapka advice, what is your advice to the franchise? And again, you've not bashed their work. You have commended them for the fact that they have taken some bold steps, some different steps.
Yes.
You are happy to understand the effort behind it. But aapne ye bhi point out kiya ki just because a thing is you've done well, again, there is always scope for improvement, always room for improvement. So what would your advice be to all of the franchises going forward, how they can improve these things? Considering in mind, very importantly, like you said, you're not talking about the cricket or the cricket team. You're talking about the kits, the anthems, the branding in a way that it can be made more relevant. What would your advice be to them?
I would just give out one piece of advice, and that would be go back to the start. जो पहला point होता है ना of brand strategy formulation, आप उस पे जाएं. ठीक है. Open that app. कोई भी टेक्स्ट बुक उठा लें ब्रांडिंग की. ठीक है. उसमें जो पहला चैप्टर होगा ना वो ब्रांड स्ट्रैटेजी फॉर्मुलेट, वेयर डज इट स्टार्ट and how to carry it forward. I would say go to that and stick to that. I feel like right now what's happening is very we're working backwards. ठीक है. हम कहते हैं PSL का सीजन आ रहा है, किट्स बननी है, एंथम बनना है, सोशल मीडिया की पोस्ट डिजाइन होनी है, एक्टिविटीज करानी है स्टेडियम में, ब्रांड एक्टिवेशंस, एक दो प्लेयर्स को उठा के कोई वो बनवा लेते हैं, कोई टिकटॉक बनवा लेते हैं, कोई ये कर लेते हैं. सो वी आर फोकसिंग ऑन द जो लास्ट पॉइंट होता है जो आपके एग्जीक्यूशनेबल आइटम्स होते हैं, एंड वी आर नॉट स्टार्टिंग विद ऑब्जेक्टिव्स क्या है, व्हाट आर वी ट्राइंग टू अचीव. हम जो इतनी ब्रांडिंग पे इतना खर्चा कर रहे हैं, हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है? इज इट टू इंक्रीज ब्रांड रिकॉल? कि द फर्स्ट whenever somebody thinks of PSL, सबसे पहली टीम, what's the first team that should come to mind? ठीक है. Are you trying to increase top of mind? कि पहला आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है? Is it to get your team's name, सबसे पहले mentioned by any neutral cricket fan, ठीक है? I would say Peshawar Zalmi would win when it comes to top of mind. When
Yes,
you think
yes,
PSL, you think automatically Peshawar Zalmi. Even though I'm an
you do.
Islamabad United fan, मेरे जहन में वो नंबर 3 पे आए, ठीक है? So आपके brand के objectives क्या हैं, ठीक है? What are you trying to achieve with all the activities that you're doing for branding? Is it to increase your top of mind, your brand recall? Is it to increase, I don't know, a consumer base जो आपसे purchase भी करती हो? कोई इसका sales motive है इसका? What is the motive, ठीक है? Objective क्या है, ठीक है? I would say that's the first question that you ask, and then accordingly align everything underneath, ठीक है? कि अगर तो आपने let's say reinforce करनी है अपनी brand values, ठीक है? जो जब ये teams की बनी थी, when these brands were created, ठीक है? So let's say Peshawar Zalmi or maybe Karachi. Actually Karachi की तो मुझे कुछ कोयटा की मुझे फिर आती है Gladiators वाली, what does Karachi stand for? Karachi Kings?
Yeah.
What does it stand for? Yeah, so those are the questions they need to ask. As a consumer of PSL, मैं हर मैच देखती हूँ, मुझे क्यों नहीं पता? Why do I not know what the team stands for? I know what Peshawar Zalmi stands for. I know what to some extent Multan Sultans stand for. I get to some extent what Islamabad United stands for. मुझे Gladiators का भी, even though I don't agree with it, I get what they're trying to. What does Karachi Kings stand for? ठीक है? So what do Lahore Qalandars stand for? ठीक है? वो किस basis पे उन्होंने Qalandars उस नाम रखा है, and अच्छा अगर रख भी दिए तो आप उसको reinforce करें ना, जो भी whatever meaning you created, communicate it to us over and over and over again, ठीक है? Strengthen your brand values, reinforce your brand image, ठीक है? वो नहीं हो रही. I think ये last year हमने थोड़ी different direction में बात की थी about this. This year I would just say go back to the objectives of your all your branding initiatives, ठीक है? कि Peshawar Zalmi हो गया, Islamabad United हो गया, Karachi Kings हो गया. इन brands का reason to exist क्या है? What are they trying to achieve, and when you put money into their productions or their designs or whatever, what are you trying to achieve? Ask yourself that question. Yeah, that's what I would say. They should go back to that first step.
No, absolutely. I mean, I've been saying it for a very long time. I'll say it again, take this opportunity to say it again, that I think it's very important for our brands, our franchises as brands, not from the cricketing point of view, to try and engage what people like yourself are saying, to try and understand, because like we said, there's always room to improve, and we appreciate the effort. We appreciate the fact that they're coming out there, they're trying something different. The anthems are enjoyable. If it's not from a cricket point of view, definitely from a production point of view, from a music point of view. But when we say anthem, there is a specific expectation of an anthem, which is why we like Groove Mera, because we want to listen to it at the cricket, or inshallah.
Checked off all those boxes,
Yeah, we want to listen to it at the cricket, or inshallah at your mehndi. That's where we want to use it, or utilize these things. It should be fun like that. It shouldn't be me thinking, oh, I'm going to now sit here and think about the Zalmi anthem, which, wow, it's got me thinking, because I think you're losing a lot of fans if you're making them think about an anthem. It should be only making them thinking about the dance. Bissmah ji, thank you so much, as always, for taking out a lot of time. You took out a lot of time. I'm very grateful. And it's always wonderful to talk about these things, that shows that there's so much more to the amazing tournament and the amazing product that the PSL is. We've had people saying Eid Mubarak the day before the PSL started. It's something that brings us all closer.
Yes,
so to be able to talk about this with someone who's so knowledgeable, and most importantly, someone who's so passionate about what you do, like you are, it's an absolute privilege. Thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to all.
Thank you for having me again for the second time. मुझे लग रहा था पिछली दफा was enough, क्योंकि I can talk about this topic for hours. So thank you for having me on this again. Yeah.
No, it's absolute pleasure. And I'm looking forward to, inshallah, next year, hopefully everybody who's watching this is able to implement the things you said. Of course, we'll take credit, but we'll also be really happy about it. That's what we'll do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.